How's it going, everyone? While it has been pretty evident that Ubisoft is going through some turmoil right now, one of those games that's been in development for oh so long is still apparently coming. It's kind of hard to believe it, but I do want to talk a little bit about Beyond Good and Evil 2 apparently still being in development. Now, if you haven't been following the Ubisoft story, obviously this was a publisher for a long time, and I would still say is one of the premier publishers in the world. In terms of size and scope, like the Assassin's Creed games are really big. Tom Clancy is still around. They're working on a Splinter Cell game. There's definitely stuff that Ubisoft is working on that people are excited about. I think Assassin's Creed is the big thing. You know, put aside what I personally think about Assassin's Creed these days with the newer style of games. Assassin's Creed heading into Japan, even Assassin's Creed Mirage this year, those are going to be notable titles for Ubisoft. However, Ubisoft has definitely shifted their focus into doing different sorts of projects, monetizing their games a little bit further, whether it be the style that they do with Assassin's Creed, where it's releasing a lot of additional content, including microtransactions within a game that already costs $60, etc., or going the route of releasing full-fledged free-to-play titles. Remember, they got a lot of free-to-play games in development: X-Defiant, Roller Champions. And Ubisoft has very much been in this free-to-play business, and you have to remember, when it comes to free-to-play games, live service titles, and games that you're monetizing for a long time, personally, I feel a lot of publishers go into it with the mindset of, okay, we're gonna have 10 titles, live service titles in development. You only really need a couple to click. You already are going into the creation of these games with the assumption that a few of them are just gonna fail, even if they are really good. That is just the reality of the situation. There are so many variables for a game to click, and especially at a live service level, but as long as you get one or two of them to really click, those are games you can perpetually generate revenue for years and years and years, and you can really see Ubisoft going down that route. However, it also seemingly has been at the cost of a lot of their premier titles that would be targeted for someone like me. Like, how long did we have to clamor for a new Splinter Cell to actually get greenlit? And it's a remake of the very first one. It's probably not going to come out for a very long time, but hey, at least it's coming. But obviously, as Stefan Totilo noted on Twitter a few days ago, news: Ubisoft, facing surprisingly slower sales, has canceled 3 unannounced games on top of the 4 canceled in July, planning $200 million in cost reduction, including natural attrition and divesting of non-core assets. Skull and Bones delayed again. It seems Ubisoft mentions upcoming beta phase, adding Skull and Bones will now be released in 2023 to 2024. This is for the fiscal year starting April 1st through March 31st, and they do also note that they have another large unannounced game for that fiscal year. A Ubisoft rep also told Totilo that developers from the studio's canceled games will be shifted to other projects. The company tends not to do big layoffs, even when, as is the case now, it clearly wants to lower headcount. Regional tax incentives play a role as well. So a lot going on with Ubisoft, and generally speaking, what I notice on social media, in my comment section, Twitter, whatever, is that Ubisoft is one of those publishers that people are really down on these days. It's kind of like how EA was for a long time, and EA really still is. It's just kind of been normalized for EA at this point, but Ubisoft for a long time was one of those publishers that a lot of people loved. Those late 2000s, early 2010s Assassin's Creed titles were games that people gravitated towards every year, even as a yearly franchise outside of that break between AC1 and AC2. Assassin's Creed was one of the bigger games of the year. You were getting your regular stream of Tom Clancy and Splinter Cell games. Do you guys remember the buzz and anticipation for Watch Dogs and The Division? Those games were gargantuan, especially Watch Dogs 1. I think now when you look at Watch Dogs and how that luster really isn't there anymore, recall Watch Dogs 1. Remember when that game was initially revealed? I want to say E3 of 2013. That game was huge and people were super excited for it. They really couldn't recapture that with Watch Dogs 2, and definitely not with Legion. But that game was a major release, and it's kind of forgotten about how much people were really looking forward to it. And now you have Skull and Bones, this naval title that I think a lot of people saw as taking AC4 Black Flag's naval combat and then turning it into a big budget title. I thought that was pretty exciting, and a lot of people were excited. We've already talked about that and what the statement was. Look, the game needs more time to cook in the oven. This is a game I think people expected to play years ago. I believe somebody said that this was the 6th delay for the game, which is just astronomical to think about. However, this also begs the question for a lot of people: what about Beyond Good and Evil 2? Man, this is a sequel to a game that a lot of people loved. Beyond Good and Evil, can't say that game did amazingly well from a commercial standpoint in terms of recognition, but the people that played Beyond Good and Evil loved it. And I even remember being a youngster and people would talk about Beyond Good and Evil 2 being one of the most underrated games that recently came out. And I was super young at that point, and even I was hearing that rhetoric. But Beyond Good and Evil 2 at this point has been in development for so long. This game was initially announced all the way back in 2009. Ultimately, it vanished for a while. Then it came back in 2018 in the form of a cinematic trailer. But this is a game that we've been seeing stuff of for a long time, and really, we saw pre-alpha demo gameplay. However, it has been reiterated, Beyond Good and Evil 2's development is underway and their team is hard at work to deliver on its ambitious project. This is coming directly from a Ubisoft spokesperson, exclusively speaking to PC Games N, and it was something that a lot of people were thinking about. Beyond Good and Evil 2, is this game actually ever gonna come out? And this game is way more far gone than Skull and Bones in terms of the skepticism that is around this game, just because, you know, it's been so long and how much work is really being done with this game. And I figured, you know, at some point we would get a legitimate gameplay demo for it, and then we could get more excited for it. I know we got that pre-alpha demo a while back. That was back in like 2018. So at this point, this is a game that looks to be in development, but I ask you guys, is this a game you actually expect to see in your lifetime? Like, is this a Duke Nukem Forever situation or anything like that? Let me know in the comments section down below. It's really, I want to see Ubisoft get back on track. They have all of these legacy IPs under their umbrella. Rayman, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed is still something they could do so much with, even though Assassin's Creed isn't something that I love these days. You know, I know a lot of people do love the AC games even for what they are now, and a lot of people like them even more than what they used to be. I don't agree with that, but hey, different strokes for different folks. And yeah, they just have so much under their umbrella, and they've got a lot of studios. I know acquisition talks have been floated. Hey, is this one of those publishing firms that Microsoft could acquire? And it looks like that's not going to be the case, but it'll be interesting to see how the Ubisoft story does play out. That's going to do it for me. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.